This video is going to kind of piggyback off of some of the other shape tools that we discussed last week. Last week we definitely covered rectangle, line, circle, and polygon. I want to get to, now that you've had a little bit more experience and practice with the rotate tool, I want to get to the arc tools because I think that they're kind of a little similar in the way you have to think about them. So let's just, let's just start with the rectangle tool. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle, and I'll go ahead and double click on that, right click, and I'm going to make it a group. Now, if I wanted to add an arced shape off of this, or add to it, I'm going to use my arc tool. I can also subtract using this. This is not a tool. You'll notice that on the left-hand side, you've got all of these 4 tools, and all of them have a little brown infill. So that means that you can use each one of these tools individually by itself to make a full shape. These are tools over here on the right side, just under line, where you have to finish, either add to another shape, or you have to finish them using their own. Like with the line tool, you can finish it using the line tool. But with the 2-point arc tool, which is the more traditional arc that SketchUp has, you have to have an existing shape in order for this to work, or it's just going to be a line and you can add to it later. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up by double clicking on it. I'm going to orbit around a little bit, and I'm going to add an arced shape off of the edge of this, and I'll do on all 4 sides so you can kind of see how it works. So first things first, you click on the tool you want to use, which is the 2-point arc. And I'm going to go from endpoint, so I click once, and I go to the endpoint, and I click again. So my first 2 clicks are establishing where I want that arc to start and stop. Now, what I can do is I can pull that arc in either the green, well, I could pull it in the blue direction if I wanted to, but that's not going to give me a shape that's going to be flat. So I'm going to pull it along this green axis for now. And I can type in my bulge, or I can just click where it looks like it is what I want it to be. I can do that along every edge, click and click, and I can pull it to however far out I want it to be. You'll notice something else before I get too carried away. Let's go back to, I'm just going to click on another tool to get it out, and you'll notice that when I click on this tool, I've got my dimensions dialog box activated. When I click on the arc tool, see how if I get close, you can kind of see how these are straight lines, click, click, click. I'm not actually clicking with my mouse, I'm just saying click while I'm touching this, but you'll notice that all of these are really actually just points. Again, in SketchUp, there is no such thing as a real true curved face. Everything is made up of straight lines and connecting lines, and triangles at the very simplest shape. So this arc is really a series of straight lines. It's almost like an exaggerated polygon. So when I first click on the arc, see how it tells me that there's 12 sides here? I can control that, and I can make that whatever I want it to be. So if I want it to be way more refined, I can go, so what I typically do is I typically go about 40 here, which will give me a really, really, really clean looking shape. Let's do that same arc on this side. So I click from this point to this point, and I'm clicking out. And 40 didn't take. I'm going to do an Apple Z. The reason 40 didn't take is because I didn't hit enter. So let's go back and do that again. So I'm clicking on another shape just to clear it. Going to my arc tool, I'm going to type in 40, enter, and now I'm going to click from this point to this point. And you'll see that my arc here is way, way, way smoother. And as I click from point to point, there's a lot more points there. I like it to be a little bit smoother and a little bit cleaner like this. I mean, when I'm just kind of roughing something out, I don't mind if it's got kind of these more jagged edges. But to start, I definitely like it to be smoother. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts. Let's go ahead and delete this. So I can delete these lines by clicking here, clicking on each line and hitting delete, delete, delete. And now I can go to my push-pull tool and push this up into space. And I can use the arc once this is done to add or subtract to that. So if I want to click inside, I can actually subtract this shape by pushing and pulling down. So I click and push and pull that face away. And go ahead and right-click out here and close the group. So that's the real simple kind of easy breezy one. I use arc all the time. We're going to use it a lot in this class. You'll see examples of it in things that we do. I just want to kind of introduce you to it for now. These are two new tools. They added these, I think that they added these with the most recent version of SketchUp, which is 2014. So I was kind of excited to see these because it's a much simpler way of getting a half circle, especially if you're going to do something like a door swing in a plan. The pie tool, which is a type of arc, is fantastic. So I click once to select my tool. So I'm selected my pie tool, and I'm gonna, again, you'll see it tells me that I've got 12 sides. Let's go ahead and change that by typing 24 or 40, enter, and now I click once to start the beginning of my pie. I drag that line out. This is just like the rotate tool. I drag that line out and I click again, and now I'm literally creating a slice of pie. What I like about this is that if I went all the way around, it would of course be a circle, so why not just use the circle tool? But if I need to do something that's just like a slice or a quarter circle or a half circle, this is fantastic because when I click again, click to stop, I've got a quarter circle already drawn, and I don't have to go in and draw a line. I don't have to draw a circle and then find its center and draw lines that connect it all the way down. So I love this tool. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that to make it a group, right click, make group, and double click again to open. Now here's another tool. It's called the, let's wait for the, this is just the basic pure arc. Now this type of arc is going to be just like this arc, where it's an arc that is a part of a circle, so it's going to have a pure radius, whereas these are more about, like, bulge is what determines the arcs here. This I kind of consider a subtractive arc, whereas this is like an additive. I'm actually making a big slice of pie. Here I'm going to take a slice of pie away. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this point here, and click on this point here, and what I'm doing again is I'm drawing another arc. So I'm actually able to separate these shapes. If I go to my select tool, I can select this and delete this. Let's see if I try it at a different spot. So I can go from, by clicking here, and I can click on this point and click on this line and draw all the way around like that. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a half circle that I can now subtract from this shape. So I can use my select tool, delete that, and go with my push-pull, and push-pull that up into space. Pretty unlimited opportunities of different things you can do with these arcs. I would definitely suggest kind of playing around with them. We're not going to really, as far as I know, we're not going to use the arc tool in the homework this week. But it's a good, we've now covered almost all of these. Next up, we're going to look at the freehand tool.